Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. We've got a kickoff for a new series of classes, and I'm so happy to be here with you. My name's Steve Carver, and I'm talking to you from my home office in Dunn, North Carolina. And this series of classes is sponsored by the Small Business Center at James Front Community College in Kenansville in Warsaw, and by our director, Joey Wynn, who is a wonderful director and will do everything she can to help you. If you're in the Dublin County area, then give her a call at 910-659-6008. Set up an appointment, and it's just like having an extra employee. That doesn't cost you a penny, but it's worth a whole lot of money to you. Basically, my story is, I'm, again, Steve Carver, been in business since 1959, so that adds up to about 65 years. Been in the equipment business, farm implements and such as that. I have a very active website now, and it's doing real well. We had a great week this week. When the sun comes out, the people get interested in getting out on their tractors and moving on, so we're selling a lot of implements these days. Also, I've had 17 years worth of commercial mowing with large companies, and also different types of government contracting, including running motor pools for the Army. So a real long history of different types of business, but my mainstay has been the equipment business and rentals and such as that. Large families, 14 children, 12 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. So I know what a large family is, and therefore, like you guys, I know what drama is, and that's all about getting into the right mindset about doing business. Joey asked that you please look out for the survey that'll be coming in either tonight or tomorrow on this class, where you will mention how well you liked it, any improvements that need to be made, and any additional topics that you would like to be added. So please fill out the survey. If you'd like, on the chat board, of course I know that some of you are on the telephone and probably can't do chat, but I always like to ask to get things started. If you type in, just for the fun of it, are you glad that warm weather's here? Either yes or no. If you're glad warm weather is here, I surely am, because I am not a cold weather person. And there we go. Thank you so much. I like it warm weather too. Don't like for it to get too hot on the stove. And it's like y'all are kind of in agreement with that. Just to let me know how my audience is, how about let me know if you're over or under 40 years old. Over or under 40. I'm 40 plus 37 on this end, so I would definitely get a big over on my side. But I'm so glad to have a lot of folks that will join us that are in their teens and even 20s sometime. How about your business? Is it going to be a full-time business for you, or a part-time, or a side hustle? Looks like all of us are over 40 in this class so far tonight. Full-time, part-time, or just a side hustle? Full-time all the way, yes. And I'm so glad to see y'all doing that. It takes a lot more seriousness about it when we're doing that. Town that you're in or that you're headed towards, where are you from? You in North Carolina? What town are you at? Rose Hill, that's right. That's good. And I think we'll have one in Raleigh and maybe Durham. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. Good. Do you have a pet? If you have a pet, what's your pet's name? We've got an English bulldog here. That's Otis, and 5 cats. Cats have a variety of names. I don't even need to try to remember. My wife names them weird names, so that's okay. Thank you for typing in there. Okay, we're starting a 7-week process here, where we'll go through all the different forms of getting into business, and we certainly look forward to y'all coming with us. We find that a lot of people that join our class will just sit back and enjoy, take what they can in, and not really worry about applying it and move forward. And maybe you're just thinking about getting started. But others that take it serious, it can actually do you a lot of good, and you can gauge your progress with the things that you're learning in the class. and then actually started to grow a little bit. So we've got 7 Wednesday, with 6 more Wednesday nights in front of us, and I'll just look forward to you joining us all the time or when you can, and we'll move forward. The first class gets a lot of study guides that'll be emailed to you, so we'll send those on out to you as well with a lot of good information. But it's your choice how deep you dive into it. I'm going to be here for you. You can win achievement awards and certificates, and the more classes and the more series that you attend, the more certificates you can earn, but mainly the more business knowledge and tips that you'll earn, and we'll look forward to working with you. The folks that graduate and indeed are serious about it are automatically inducted into the Academy of Entrepreneurs and Associates, which is basically just an online group of folks who try to help each other with their new businesses and get started. We've got a full agenda plan, and it all adds up to basically to mutual helpfulness and doing business the right way. Very proud of our entrepreneurs who are working, and especially last year and this year, we've had more people who joined our classes and went on to start their businesses. Let's talk about the ones who were first in class last year. This is the folks who really took our messages serious and put them to work and started their business. Last spring, we started out with Vanessa McIntosh over in the mountains with her 5-alarm logistics. And if you've been watching the email I've been sending out, Vanessa sent a really great message, appreciation to the Academy and to the small business centers for helping her. I want to tell you her business has soared. It was basically just doing a little bit of business, hardly enough to call it one last year. And this year she's reporting that her sales are in the 6 figures range and growing every day. So I'm so happy for her and look forward to working with her. LaToya Matthews in Clinton is putting together a self-help business and moving forward, and she's going back to college now to get another degree to help her in her work. So proud of LaToya. Katina Cooper in Rocky Mount with her online crafting business is doing real well. She got it started this year, and it's starting to go even faster. And then we moved into 2024, and Sherwaki Mitchell, she has got her business wide open, and she is maybe one of the best video performers in marketing. So very proud of her, and I look forward to watching her business grow and want y'all to watch it too. And then a big congratulations to Darcy Garcia, who is with us tonight, attended classes for 2 or 3 years, I think now, and got her business up and running a few weeks ago, and so proud of the work that you're doing, Darcy. If you got your mic, can you still talk to us, Darcy, and just maybe give us an idea as to how much the Academy Series classes have encouraged you or helped you?
Yeah, so I can't, it's just priceless how much you actually can gain from just sitting in. And there were a lot of times when, you said things and I thought, I have no idea what he's talking about, but I'm going to do exactly what he said because it's being told for a reason, whether it was, guerrilla marketing or emailing, being rejected 9 times, and then you're going to, all of those things have been, it makes you feel secure that you're not the only one, and there's been guidance, and you've been such a great cheerleader, and being amongst the people who are listening, you almost can feel that, the unity where we're all trying to go for the same goal. So the Academy has helped me tremendously, and not to mention the things like, the getting your EIN number, the taxes, learning how to manage going through the marketing. So it's been a really great asset to me.
Well, that's really great. I want you to continue because join us when you can, because just the encouragement. I find in my business the same thing, Darcy. my friendship and relationship with you folks and new people that are coming on really motivate me to try to do better and to also to encourage you all as well. So thank you so much for those comments, and let's keep it going, no doubt about it. And Pamela, you've got your business up and running, ready to kick it off this spring. You want to make a comment or two about your experience and value of coming back and keep attending these classes?
Yes, Steve, you helped a lot because I didn't know where to start. I knew that I wanted to do a business, but I didn't know where to start. And your class led me in the direction that I needed to go.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you for the comments. And Carolyn, I see you're with us, and we look forward to working with you as you get your business up and running and get started. Do you have any comments you'd like to make? I'm not sure that you got your mic on. All right, well, we'll move on. Tiny tips for getting started.
Okay, I'm sorry. Were you saying Carolyn or is it Charlene?
Charlene, yes. Happy to have you with us tonight, and glad to see you starting this new series with us, and I hope you can hang with us all the way through it.
That is certainly my plan because I'm ready to get started.
All right, well, great. Well, you don't have a lot of friends on here, and I think the most rewarding night I had last year was as we were all signing off one night. We had a good crowd on board for a class, maybe 12 or 15, and everybody was saying good night. And one of y'all, one of our associates said, "Good night, family. Y'all mean a lot to me." And you brought tears to my eyes, and so I know that a lot of us do take it serious and try to help each other and put together good relationships. So. That's enough of that soapy mess. I'll move on now with the lesson. Thank you so much for your comments. We got a plan for the unexpected. Things just don't always go well. And no matter how long you've been in business, I experienced a really business cut off for me in December all the way through about 10 days ago. It just fell through the cracks, but I had confidence that it would come back because I've got a good marketing plan. That'll go with a goose marketing plan. And indeed, about 3 days ago, it's come back, and I've done more business in the last week than I did in the last 3 months almost. And my annual sales numbers are going to be up to close to where they ought to be. So just know unexpected things are going to happen. And the key is building a good team around you. A good marketing plan is your team of moving forward. You need a good financial basis so that you don't run out of money in tight times. Have someone you can talk to and get some advice and bounce ideas off of. I like to serve that purpose for anyone that wants me to, but your small business owners can be your good team of people to work with too. And things will go wrong. It's not going to go right all the time. Just know that. We have business plans and do a lot of talking and studying, so that when something does go wrong, we know how to handle it and how to address it, or maybe reach out to someone and get some help to figure it out. My job is to be assertive and to motivate people to maybe get to the next step that they're going to in their business. I try to do that a lot of different ways. I do these recordings so that if you can't attend a class one night, you can go back and watch the recording. Maybe pick up ideas that maybe you missed. But your job is to find the endurance to stay in the game, and I'm super proud of you for doing that. I know it takes time out of your subject, and there's a world of different things that you could be doing, but you find yourself to be here. Let's have a little fun. We're starting a new series, and last 2 times we've had Words of the Week this year, so we're starting our 3rd series for the year now. And we'll have words for the week, and we got us a coach up here with an ostrich head. So let's see what the first words this week is. Now I want y'all to remember these, and we'll have a quiz each week to see if you can remember what the words are as we go forward. So this was going to kind of surprise you a little bit, because the 2 words this week is be fat. And I have no problem at all being fat. I'm a little bit on the front side heavy, and I know what fat is all about, but that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm taking the be fat and saying, I want you to be faithful, be available, and be teachable, not only for these classes, but for you as far as being in life, the way that we run our lives, and mainly the way we run our businesses. Being fat, being faithful, being available, being teachable. But the words for the week I want you to remember is be fat. The rest of it to come to mind. Faithful, what are we talking about here? Faithful is not being on again and off again, on and off, because you cannot stay in business. Sustainable business, being on and off. You can't go hot and cold and expect your customers to go hot and cold with you. We need to be faithful and loyal and consistent, steadfast with people and relationships and our customers and our vendors. When we say we're going to be there, we need to be there. In other words, a good entrepreneur is someone that is known as being reliable, and that's what I want us to hang on to. And if you do that, you're certainly going to find your path easier to travel. Available, again, it's not on again or off again. We have to be available to people. We can't say we're in business and not answer email. We can't say we're in business and not answer phone calls or hang with them when they hang with a customer when they're having a problem. We need to do that. From the mentor standpoint, with me working with folks, folks have to want it. They have to make themselves available to be taught. And that's so important. And of course, when I'm saying that to folks that are here in class tonight, it's like preaching to the choir. But I want you to remember, because as you're hiring employees, these same attributes are going to apply. We have to recognize that opportunities, great opportunities, are rare. And when we see them come up, we have to make ourselves available to take advantage of those. So bottom line, are you going to pitch up and pitch in and participate? That's what it's going to take to move your business forward, no doubt. Pitch up, pitch in, and participate. We need to be teachable. All of us need to be teachable, and we need to listen and talk and look for insight and wisdom from other people. And we just don't need to go looking for counseling so we can feel better about ourselves and not be open to that counseling move to improvement. So try to hang on to that and make it work. Bottom line is, when you're working with your employees or your customers or you're trying to explain something, some folks will be willing to be taught, and other folks will have the attitude, I've already got it all figured out. And that's just life. So we need to recognize that and move forward thinking about it. We have 40 drill skills that we've talked about a lot during the last 10 years. I don't keep sending out that handout because they are important, but kind of cut down on the amount of time in the series that I spend with the drill skills, and let folks find them in those handouts. And then if you have a question or you want to talk about any in particular ones, you can come back to me and let's do that. But the main ones we are going to continue to talk about. Why do we want a business plan? Number one, why do we want a business plan? Is to help us to avoid pitfalls and unexpected expenses. In other words, we want to put our estimates together to estimate maybe how much income we can bring in. And while we're doing that, we're going to estimate what it's going to cost us, and then we'll know what's left. And knowing what's left helps us know what changes we have to make in the business plan. Do you need a marketing plan? Just as Darcy was just saying, we do need a marketing plan. I have to have one, and you will too, if you're going to know that you're going to have business to continue to come in from different types of customers. And the diversity of your customers is really, really important. I know that Darcy's been working real hard in getting her messages out in social media, and as she said earlier, visiting different groups where she can let folks know she's in business. I went to Facebook 2 weeks ago and just started loading up on my implements and sharing them. And if you follow me on Facebook, and I hope that you will, you'll see different ways that you can market your products. And 2 days after I started that campaign, I started getting phone calls and messages based on that marketing tool. So doing marketing the right way and not wasting a lot of money is a really good thing. We need three different types of profit centers, or there are three different types of profit centers, and we need at least one of each in our business. We need the kind that bring in new customers. We need the kind that focus on repeat business and impulse buying, maybe continuous business. And in our market centers, we need some big ticket items, some things that we can put together to have some really nice fulfilling deposits so that we can start generating a goodly amount of cash and then cash flow, of course. So we need three types of profit centers, and we'll talk about those a little bit later. I have to remind myself all the time, even after being in business 65 years, which one of my profit centers am I really zeroing in for new customers, and which ones am I zeroing in for repeat business. And that constant reminder, as long as you're in business, reminding yourself, are you doing this right? And doing that right will be important. But we need at least 5 different types, because if you're just doing one thing, Charlene, if you're just going to do one thing in your business, someday it will go south. They always do. So it's important to have 5 different ways that you're generating some income, so you have money coming in all through the year during the different months, that you are focusing on different types of customers, and then you'll have a better way to have a sustainable business. Once you get the foundation of your business set up, and you've got an ongoing plan, it's really not that hard at all to start adding profit centers to increase your revenue flow, and we'll help you do that as much as we can. We need to remember that our RFC, that raving fan customer, they are the people that's going to help keep us in business. They're very important for us. They're the customers that go out and tell other people to come and do business with us, and therefore it makes a lot of difference in what's going on. NDCP, I'll mention often, no demand, change to plan. No demand, change to plan. That is, when we get into something and we're pushing it and we're just not getting any demand or any results back from our customers, then we need to make some changes. We don't need to spend our time and resources working on things that just aren't selling. We need to figure out what we need to change to do it. I mention this because what I don't want you to do is quit. What I don't want you to do is throw your hands up and say, well, this just isn't working, I'm going to throw this business plan away. No, that's not the right way to do it. We have to be flexible and make changes as we go. ABCD is going to teach us to always be connecting the dots. Think about the decisions that you're making, the new things that you're trying, and look at it from the form that every new thing you're doing is like putting dots. And I like to say we want to keep our dots in a circle, because a circle represents a wheel. And if we have a dot that's outside of the circle, it's going to be a bump in the road. So make sure what we're doing makes sense, it fits the plan, and will work. We don't have to make a lot of decisions as you go, some that you've never made before, and some we're kind of worried about. Even now, after my time in business, sometimes I'm anxious about things that I made a decision to do. But as long as it fits the general plan and should end up helping to push the business forward, rolling forward day after day and week after week, then we don't give it a shot. There are risks that we don't have to take. The 3 words that we have a lot of fun with are by the way and by the way. That is the key words to upsells and cross sales and stacking profits. Remember the stacking profits part, because that's going to be really important. And as Darcy was saying earlier in her talking with some of her brand new customers, and it's so exciting to meet new customers and tell them about your business. And Pam now is getting ready to start her gardening process, and in just a few weeks she'll have a lot of stuff to sell and explain it to people. And it's good to say, look, I've got this ready for sale now, and by the way, I've also got this that will go with it and make for a whole lot better situation for you. People really appreciate you forecasting the things that they may need that you can provide to be a better fulfillment for them as a supplier and a vendor. Doing that creates long-term and good business, and instead of selling just one thing to your customer, you are able to sell them 4 or 5 things Hence, you start stacking your profits without raising your overhead. That's a good thing to do. When we go fishing, I want you to remember this now, if you don't, when you go fishing, especially out in the ocean, there's 3 rules that will guarantee you catching fish. It may not be the exact fish that you wanted to catch that day, but if you do 3 things, you'll be able to catch fish out in the ocean. 1 is keep fresh bait in the water. Keep fresh bait in the water. 2, keep fresh bait in the water. And if you didn't guess it already, number 3 is to keep fresh bait in the water as well. Because if you've got the fresh bait out there and you got it presented in the right way, somebody's gonna come and bite it, and some fish is gonna come bite your hook. In the same token, we want to catch customers, and the way we catch customers is continually putting fresh promotions out in front of them through our marketing campaigns, through our social media. Keep sending those messages out because we have to remind them all the time. First of all, people aren't going to see your messages 2 out of 3 times. They're going to miss it. So it needs to be a continuing process. And next, it needs to be something fresh. So when you have things to offer to them, offer one thing today, something else tomorrow, something else the next day. Keep something different coming in. Your messages won't be boring to them. What do you mean sending messages? I'm talking about sending out emails. I'm talking about putting social media ads out and having them reoccur on a regular basis. So think about that, and through the course of these series, we'll talk about a lot of different ways to make that happen. So getting started, there's a lot of different things to be considered. How you incorporate your company, you got your logo out there ready, trademarks or insurances, do you need any types of permits to keep your business going? There's a lot to consider, and we'll touch on every one of these in the course of our series during the next 6 weeks. There's another word we always want to remember, and that is shrewd. I'm encouraging you to be shrewd, not just someone not on the log, but someone that is hopefully like me, that I'm trying to do is constantly elevate my intelligence and my understanding of doing business. I want you to work hard to become more shrewd than we are. Now, tonight's lesson here forward is pretty much based on a book that I wrote about 6 years ago when my wife was going through cancer treatment, and I had a lot of time sitting around in hospital rooms. I put together a little book to help folks called it 24 Things You Want to Know to Start a Business. You don't need to go out and buy that or go to Amazon and buy it. If you want to do it and give it as a gift to someone or to have one for me to sign for you, I'll be glad to. But basically, the rest of the night's lesson that is in your handout and study guide comes right out of the book that we've got on the market. If you would go to a professional $1,000 an hour counselor, business counselor, they're going to ask you about 30 different questions just to get started. Just to help you understand where you are in your business and what the next steps that you want to go to. So I don't ask us a few questions, not that I need to know the answers to them right now, but you need to know the answers. And number one is, are you personally going to be involved in the business? And is it going to be full-time or part-time? And based on what you said in the chat room, we've got a mix of that. But you want to know that, because I don't come around to the point in time to ask you how much time you're going to put in your business. Is your business going to be home-based or mobile? Is it going to be promoted on the internet, or will it be a storefront, or maybe some type of combination? Well, indeed, most businesses are some types of combinations. My business at this point in time is mostly home-based and on the internet. That's what it is, but there have been times in recent years where I was doing all three. I had several dealerships, bricks and mortar dealerships, had salesmen and folks on the road all the time, and we had an internet business going all the time. Why do we need to talk about this? Because next week when we're doing our business planning, every different type of business will have some different variations of resources it's going to need, and possibly resources it will generate for you. So we need to know what we're going to be doing to put it into our business plan. What is the least expensive way to get started? of course, is just having a home-based business where you work out of your house without having additional rent or insurances that you have to buy. Now, what date do you want to have your business up and running? What date do you want to start? Well, Darcy's already started with her florist business, booking classes and booking weddings and such as that. So wide open, way to go. We're so proud of you. Now it's going to be important for you to have a calendar, and your calendar is going to be your very best business tool, because indeed, while it's flowers and arrangements and stuff like that, you're basically selling time for money. And to stay on top of it and to reach your budget and make sure you don't get overcrowded is to have a calendar, and you're taking it very serious on how many appointments can you work per day and what you're going to be earning for each one of those appointments. Pamela's business, for example, is, Pamela, you need to have that target date. You know already what dates you're going to plant on and what dates certain crops are going to be coming in. So right now you can be building your marketing campaign on your tomatoes or cucumbers or different types of salads or things that you're going to be canning and making, and go ahead and start putting out some Facebook ads, letting folks know that certain things will be available on certain dates and how to get in touch with you, or how to start taking early orders for things. And you'll be surprised that people will have an interest in that, because they know if they've got it reserved, or they've got a certain family event or a vacation or a beach trip or lake trip, they'd like to be able to pick up a basket full of fresh vegetables to go forward, or maybe some items that you had cooked and prepared. So even now, before you even plant the seeds, you start planting the marketing seeds for people to buy what's going to be coming up. Put a date on things, and then we can have a calendar to get you there. But what products and services and information is going to be in your business? Make a list of them and start thinking about them, and we'll mold those into a plan for you. Now, if having credit is going to be an issue for you, is your business going to be credit heavy where you have to borrow money to go forward, or maybe even to get started? Take that into consideration. And if your credit score right now is not one that a lender would feel good about loaning your money, there's a lot of things you can do to start improving that almost on a weekly basis. I've got a really good study guide that I can send to you on how to improve your credit score, or your business credit score, and I'll be glad to share that with you. But it's a process that will take a while, but you need to start working on it. Mission, vision, and promise statement. Pamela and Darcy's already got theirs on board, so you've got that qualified for this series. I see Sarita has joined us. She has as well. Thank you for joining us, Sarita. Charlene, as soon as you get an idea for what you're going to name your business and what type it is, let's look seriously at these handouts and get these statements involved. They are so important for you. I thought for 15 years that we needed to use these statements, but only year before last did I actually do them for my own business. It's one of those things that's really easy to kind of set aside and not call it a priority. But when I called it a priority and got hot on it, it has made a major difference. I put my mission, vision, and promise statements on every quotation that I send out, because I'm proud of them. I tell my customers what they are so that they can see I'm serious about my business. And maybe they like them. Business has been good. No one has commented on them. But I like them because every day, several times a day, when I insert that statement onto my quotation and email going out, I reaffirm my commitment to doing business the right way. And y'all experience that, and you will enjoy it. The handouts that I send out to you will help you write your statements, and got good ideas in there, and you're certainly welcome to copy other people's statements if you feel good about them, and you can promise yourself that as well. Core values are basically just defining the bottom line on what your foundation is, what your character is built on. What is the projection you want your company to have? You find that in your core values, so give that some thought, and they're listed in the handout as well for you. When you send these statements back to me, I'll look over them and I'll critique them if needed. But it will be one of the qualifying things you can do to earn certificates and awards. But they're going to tell people what you're going to do for the community and your customers and your employees, and basically what your personal goals and standards are all about. That's why it's important to get it in writing and to make it work. And we've done them for our academy, which now y'all are beginning to associate with, and I'll send you copies of those. I won't take time tonight to read them, but when you look back at your video tomorrow, you can stop each one of these slides and take it in and absorb it and use any information on those to help you with your statements, and you'll certainly be welcome to do it. But the bottom line, what this is all about is to encourage people to do business the right way, to be proud that you're an American, to do all you can to help the country, and to pledge. The main pledge is in the last line on the screen right now, is we will concentrate and strengthen our association by our devotion to mutual helpfulness. That's exactly right. And as long as we are working together as friends and family and entrepreneurs and associates, trying to help each other's business go forward, that's a good thing. And I'm very proud to be associated with you guys to do that. Okay, chapter 1 is you want to have a mentor, a coach, advisor, or a counselor. I'm happy to serve you in that way. If you have me, I'll be proud to do that and to work with you as long as it takes, year after year. But if you have other people that you can talk to, and a good place to find that help is at a small business center, you want to find someone that knows what they're talking about, that's honest, and that has your best interest in mind. Diversifying your business is going to be really important. The more diversity you have that makes sense, the more diversity you have that can be linked together to promote upsells is a good thing. Also, you want to maintain a positive spirit and be determined to have balanced energy and know what your income goals are. I want you to meet your income goal. I want you to do all that you can, but I can tell you now that if you'll make a promise to yourself that you have set up a personal income goal and one as well for the business, and you have those goals and you're working towards them, you're going to have a lot better chance of getting there. But if you never set the goals, and if you just say, well, I'll just take what comes my way, that's your decision to make. But I will assure you, if you'll try to up the ante a little bit and keep improving and keep marketing, keep improving your planner and getting some mileposts down to achieve how far you're coming along, it'll make a big difference for you. And all through these next 6 weeks, we'll be doing the same thing. Remember, start small and grow slowly. Start with one customer at a time. As we're meeting new customers in our business, we want them to have a business card. We want them to have a brochure. We want to make sure we've got their email address. We want to make sure we're staying in touch with them. We want to make sure they know that we care about them. And as you start that process with your new customers, you will start building raving fan customers. Now, all of you that I think I'm seeing now, maybe except Charlene, haven't quite yet got your feet in the water to the point that you can feel like you can feel the warmth and the moisture of your business coming to you. It's a great feeling, but what I don't want you to do is jump in head first and not know how to swim. No, we want to take this one step at a time at your pace, where you're comfortable to do it. So there's about a lot of different ways that you can set up your business to be legal. And people say, I want my business to be legal. Well, let's kind of boil this down to a couple of points. You want your business to be legal, number one, so that you're not breaking any laws. You can operate a business as a sole proprietor and have a large business. However, that is all about you. But if you get your business started and you want to have your business stand on its own and be responsible for what it does, then you're going to need to incorporate. And there's 11 different ways you can incorporate, but we need to decide which one is best for your particular business. Generally, a small business is just getting started, can get started as an LLC if it's a one person or two person just getting up and running. If you're starting a large corporation, a manufacturing company, or things like that, you might be a whole lot better off tax-wise and record-keeping-wise to start out as a subchapter S or a C corporation. This is a discussion you need to have with your accountant, or a really good bookkeeper who understands the ramifications of how you classify your business. Mostly, though, during the last 15 years, the folks that we've been working with here in the Academy, I would say 99%, maybe it's 100, but I don't say 99, are very comfortable with the LLC, limited liability company. It's very inexpensive to get started that way, and you do have the option to switch over to different things later on. But again, that's a topic you'll want to have with your accountant, or maybe your attorney, but your accountant first of all, though. The limited liability companies is what most people are going with. They're not very hard to set up. As a matter of fact, one of the handouts that and study guides that I'm sending to you is a video link to show the different ways, things you'll want to go through in North Carolina to get your LLC up and running. I think most of y'all have already done that, and we'll probably agree with it. If you like the video or have any other tips that we might share with new members, please let me know. So look at that study guide and it'll help you out a whole lot. Sometimes it's tough to make decisions, but one I want to tell you about right now, whether you've been in business 65 years like me or 65 days like Darcy, then what you need to know is there are going to be risks involved and tough decisions to make from time to time. And you'll make some good ones and you'll make some bad ones, just telling you right now. And I don't love you either way, because the best way never to make a mistake is never do anything. So the more active you are and the more you do and the more you try to grow, the more risk you'll have for making mistakes. But living through it and keeping them at a minimal and overcoming is all about becoming a better person and a stronger leader, and you'll get there. Don't give up on yourself. Again, if you've got that business plan and understand risk management that we'll talk about a lot during week 4, you'll find it to be very, very helpful to you. Man, we are so busy these days, and springtime is here, and there's so many things that we've got to go do. We got grandchildren that are just dependent on us to look after them, and we got this to do and that to do, and it's a busy time of year. We're doing more business these days than we've done all year long. Time is precious, and making things happen, finding the time to grow your business, sometimes quite difficult. So I want to encourage you to find a way to set priorities and then delegate yourself, your time, and other people and other resources you might have to help you move forward. But it's all about setting those priorities to make sure you can manage the time to get there. How can you expect anything different to happen tomorrow if we're going to keep doing the same things we're doing today? Well, mature people, young and old, it don't take long to learn that if we want something to change, we have to change it, find the space and the time and actually make it happen. Complying with local laws needs to be on all of us' mind. There's laws that are related to how much noise you can make, what hours you can do, whether or not you can sell different beverages on certain days, where you can put your sign and how large it will be, how many square feet do you need in a certain space if you don't have a certain number of customers come in. Lots of laws. Well, the good news is every town in North Carolina that's incorporated, I think, has a website. And at that website, under the ordinances or local laws, they list down all the things that you have to be concerned about if you're opening up a new business. And if you can't find the answer you want, they all will have the people you can go to see and talk to or call up on the phone. It's a great service because indeed you're able to learn on your own just by searching on the internet on those particular town websites. So in Dunn, North Carolina, it would be dunnorthcarolina.com or .gov. And so all you got to do is type in the name of your town and then follow the indexes. And if you don't want to do all that reading or you can't find what you want to know, then you can call up the city clerk or the city planner and find out what you need to know about fire codes, about zoning. Zoning means can you run a business in a certain location? And so it would be really awful for you to go rent some property or build some property, open your store up, and then have someone from the city come by and say, you can't do that here because the zoning codes are wrong. So always get advance information before you start trying to make those moves and save yourself a lot of heartaches. Now this is important, even if you're operating at your own home, on your own property and running a business out of it, you still need to have these conversations. Don't take for granted because it's your place and you own it that you're the boss over these codes, because that is not the case. It doesn't mean that you can't, you might think I can build a shelter out front or a space to sell my vegetables and groceries like Pam might want to do. Well, you need to check it out with the county planners and the zoning just to see what you can do legally, and then go for it. But don't go for it and then find out you got to tear it down. I've made some of those mistakes in the past, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. One of you mentioned you just got your EIN number, your business identification. Let me tell you what that is. When you're born, as an individual, you're given a Social Security number. Well, when you birth a new business, it gets an EIN number, an employer identification number, and it will stay with that business the rest of its life, just like your Social Security number. It stays with you as an individual. You'll use it when you get your business checking account, which is usually the reason most people get their EIN number to begin with. And so I'll take a little caveat here and stop. I do want you to go on and get your EIN numbers and go on and go to the bank and get a business checking account. That's going to help you save a lot of issues and keep your records separate, help you set up your books so that you'll be able to follow your profit and loss and keep up with your business records year to year without a lot of hassle and about half as much trouble in looking back when you're getting ready to do your tax planning, which is what a lot of people have just been living through the last few weeks. But your EIN number you can get at the IRS Internal Revenue Service website, and there's a place you can click right on that home page that says get your own number. Now I want to caution you, when you start getting that number, a flag will come up on the computer screen and offer you help. That is a sham. That flag is not the Internal Revenue. There is no charge, and you don't need any help to get your number. You just fill in a few blanks in the information, and they will automatically assign it to you. These people trying to charge you extra money for your help, and usually it's about a $300 charge. They're just scamming you. How do I know? Because I bit the scam. I was able to get my credit card company to get my money back when I found out what had happened. But at any rate, don't pay anybody any extra money for you to get your EIN number. North Carolina Department of Revenue, NCDOR, as you collect sales tax, as you start selling items, when you're selling items, most of them are subject to sales tax. Pam, you're going to need to check into that real carefully with your produce and with your cooked goods and such as that on whether or not you need to collect sales tax on your sales. And as you do collect sales taxes, you'll need to be keeping a monthly record of it. And before the 12th, I think it's the 12th of each month, is to send those taxes into the state with a check and a register of how much business you did and what type of business. NCDOR will be happy to help you with that. They have local offices in the major cities in North Carolina, and they have phone numbers that you can call and ask questions. These people are very courteous and very nice because they want to help new businesses get started, and we're fortunate in North Carolina to have people that would do that. If you don't pay your taxes, it's not a good thing. If you don't pay them on time, it's not a good time. They will bug you and such as that, and eventually they could shut you down. Don't need to go there. Just know that if you're collecting taxes, you need to pay them, and you need to pigeonhole them so that you don't spend that money before you send it into the state. There are some information you'll need to know about business permits or privilege license. Generally, that's in your local county or city. It usually doesn't cost you hardly anything. Maybe most small towns for small businesses is there is no privilege license to get started. And then year after year, as you renew them, sometimes it might cost you $30 to $50 a year for a small company. For large companies with lots of employees, sometimes $100 to $200. Right now, my business, I've been in business in Dunn a long time. I think my monthly charge here in Dunn is about $50 a year. This is what your privilege license in Dunn, North Carolina looks like. About just as simple as it can be, where I paid the registration fee and they sent this to me. This is kind of important from the standpoint to make sure that they will help you make sure you're staying within the codes, not only zoning codes, but also fire codes and things like that. And if you have a fire or an emergency, they will have on file what type of business you have and what type of chemicals you might have in storage, depending on different businesses, so that the fire department knows. Businesses that are operating out of bricks and mortar indeed may have a fire marshal come by and actually talk to you about fire issues and such as that to help you understand what you're responsible to do as a company. A really good place to get additional resources is from the Small Business Center Network. This is where you went to register to come on these webinars. They've got one of the tags there that you see on the header, resources. That is a really good information catch for you. If you have time and you want to do some reading on your own, that's a good place to get lots and lots of information. So let's get back to where you want to operate that business. Out of your home or a home office or a bricks and mortar site. Which was least expensive? Working at home. But as the business develops and requires that you do different things, you'll have to plan to do that. Each one of these startup costs is going to increase too as you go to different types of businesses. So you're saying, well, I got enough business to start, I got enough money to start my business right home, provided right here I stay at home. But if I hit the road and I need another vehicle or a trailer or some more tools to go out, I may have to ante up another $5,000 or $10,000 just before I ever make a penny selling. That's why we want to have this business plan talk next week, so that you're not hit up with those surprises, and maybe we look for ways that you can find that money to help you get your business started, or maybe the financing to help you with it. No demand change to plan. Here's the things that generally get folks in trouble as we're getting started. So I want to ask you, as you're moving forward now, getting your business started, Charlene, I'll mention this to you. Whatever it is that you're planning on selling, can you sell it? Not is it an item people want, but do you have the ability and the skills to sell to other people? Are you a retailer? Are you a merchandiser? Those things are important, and most everyone, if they're people type people, can learn to do these. But if there's just no possibility that's within you, then we're going to think about from day one, I don't have to hire a sales team. Just being realistic to real questions, because there's no reason to go forward if we don't think that we don't have a good result at the end. Next is, will they buy it? Will my customers want to buy what I'm offering? And what can I do to ensure to myself and to my customers to make it attractive to them? This takes some thinking and some stuff, because there's already people out there selling what you're selling probably, and customers may be quite happy with where they're buying it from. So we don't need to give some thought as to, is this going to work for them as well? Who are they? Where are your customers? And how are we going to help them find you? Well, our whole topic in week 4 is how to help customers find you, and we're going to dive deep into that to help that happen. If you don't plan for it to work, they won't find you. There's a zillion other people out here in towns and shopping centers and on the internet that are doing a real good job going after your customer. So you and I need to get the plan together to make sure you're getting a fair share with that. Where are they? Where's the best chance we're going to find people that want to do business with you? And then how are we going to reach out and get them? How many of them can I reach realistically? How much business can you do realistically with the amount of time that you're ready to give to the business? So we'll take your personal goals and your business revenue goals with the business plan and slice it up with your profit centers to determine how many of these different products do you need to sell to generate X amount of money. And when we know how many you need to sell, that's going to give you a good idea with how many plants you need to plant, Pamela, or how much inventory you need to keep, Darcia, or how much stock do you need to have on hand, Sarita, to meet your customers' needs, because you can't sell from an empty basket, but you do need to be ready and have a resource that you can go get the products to sell to your customers when you need them. So marketable profit centers are the different things we do in our business. The profit center is the way we make money, but I want us to carry it to the next step and have a marketable profit center. That is, we want something that we can market separately. Different items we're selling or different services we're offering, we want to offer them separately. And I was so happy to hear Darcia say earlier that not only number one in her floral business is she already looking at different types of clientele for different types of profit centers. Those for weddings, those for doing classes, those for special events. And we'll carry that on forward to as many different types of profit centers as you can manage, because each one of those will bring in a different customer. But even though they're different customers, each one of those is one that you can say, and by the way, if you've got a wedding coming up in your family or someone you can recommend, I'd appreciate you sending them to us. That's what you call marketing amongst your raving fan customers, having those ready to go. A diversified customer base is one that will bring you business all year long with a lot of different profit centers rewarding your business. So is your profit centers marketable, diversified, and aimed at bringing you in year-round business? Those are questions that we need to answer. Now, I mentioned that type 1 profit center is one for new customers. We need new customers. Even if you've been in business a long time, you're going to lose a third of your customers every year. At least 25% people die, they move away, they have different needs, or they find another supplier. So in business, especially small businesses, we have a constant running fishing motor for new customers. And the way we keep those new customers coming in is with our continuous promotions with products that will affect and attract new customers. Either pricing or the particular needs that they have will make a lot of difference, because we want daily traffic and we want new customers to be coming to us. Now, if you're at the convenience store, you get that two different ways. You get it with the price of a gallon of gas, because you can change out 1 penny and have everything to do with how many people come in your store that day. So gasoline is not a thing that a convenience store makes money on, or a lot of money, but they do want people to come in. That's why it's the major part of their business. The other thing that brings a lot of customers in are lottery tickets. They make hardly any money out of a lottery ticket unless one of the big winners buys their ticket there. But when the lottery numbers start going up, when the prizes go up, then indeed the convenience store traffic really skyrockets. It's the best thing they do to bring traffic in. The fast food businesses all have a $5 meal. That's to bring in new customers, to bring them in. So what are you going to do in your business, Charlene, to generate new customer business? Now, the type 2 is the repeat business. That is, we want products and services that are aimed at and designed to keep people coming back in. Having items that people need versus things that they want, or having great merchandising plans so that people can have impulse buying with us. these items will have a much higher profit margin than the type 1s. Because the type 1 profit centers, you probably had to shave the price down to beat the competition. But with type 2, you've got them captured. So they're captured customers inside your store or inside your website, or they've done business with you and now they need something else that you have. You want to make sure you have it available for them. You owe it to yourself to have all three of these types of profit centers in your business so that you'll have a chance to be sustainable. Best example I can give you is at McDonald's, you can go in there and get a $5 meal. Most any fast food place, that's the case. But the very minute you go in there, you're bombarded with the upsells, with the up the orders, with step it up to another size, or how about adding something else. Those are the items that they're doing with their type 2. Because while you went in there for a $5 meal, in average, the average ticket at a fast food is now between $8 and $12. So they have bumped it up, and that difference is high profit margin items. So that's one reason those businesses are doing so good. And I want to tell you that generally the economy is excellent and businesses are doing well in North Carolina. If you watch TV, people won't tell you that, but indeed our economy is booming right now. Inflation is coming down, which is a good thing. But high inflation means the business was great. So yes, some people with great big 401 plans or different stock options in different types of markets, some of them may be up and down, but generally small business entrepreneurship is doing really quite well. So I'm glad the government's doing what they're doing to help us. I have to go to the grocery store and buy expensive groceries too, and I have to buy expensive gas too, but I don't think that's something that we need to blame the government for. That's always up and down. But we want to keep a positive note and be talking positive with our customers and feeling good, and you know what? They'll feel good about doing business with you. If we have a good merchandising plan, a good way that people can pick and choose and get different things that we're selling, that's a good thing to do. Now, at the car dealership, they don't make hardly any big bucks on the sale of new vehicles, but they want you to buy your vehicles there so that indeed you can come back and buy parts and accessories and service there. That's their profit centers number 2. Be thinking about what your items like that will be. Now, would you rather make a $500 deposit or a $5,000 deposit? That's easy. We need to make those big ticket items. So if you don't plan to have some big ticket sales, you will not do it. So we look at ways that we can bundle or package or link together items that we're selling to add up to some big ticket sales. You may indeed want to just go ahead, if it suits what you're up to and you're planning, and start selling some big ticket items. I'm very fortunate, and I've got a distributor that I work with selling direct out of their stock and some pretty expensive items. And indeed, depending on what you're into, that may fit you as well. But if not, you're selling crafts or smaller items or services, figure out and let's think about what you can do to offer bundled services so that you can get some bigger ticket items and have some nicer deposits for yourself. Smithfield Chicken and Barbecue, one of my favorite places in North Carolina to eat. Indeed, they have a $5 meal, but also indeed you can buy a $400 catering package here, which I've done a couple of times now, and I'm very pleased with it. So it's right there as a part of their menu. You come in for the $5 meal, but they've got that promotion right there. They got that fresh bait that's telling you that if you're having a family reunion or a big gathering or a holiday event, we can do the whole thing for you. That is good marketing. That's the kind of marketing we want to do as well, okay? And let's figure out a way to do it for your business. So you can't do all this alone. I'm going to tell you, no matter how small your business is, it's going to be hard to do it right by yourself. If you're printing, if you're providing this service or that service, you're probably going to need a vendor to help you in some way. If you're going out to move material here or there. Maybe you can do it yourself, but you are going to be limited on how big you can grow your business without doing some serious planning on how you can make it grow. And growing the business up to a certain point, up to your limitations, time-wise and resources, and then you'll get to that plateau. And that is a very serious moment in time. And to have your goal set that you want to grow beyond that, right now is the time to say, yes, I want to get to this point, and when I get there, I want to be able to take that next step forward. That's a really defining moment in every business. My business is there now. I thought that I was going to stay about where I am and be very happy. But I've gotten older now, and I've determined that I am not going to be happy staying still. I want to keep growing. So I'm right now in the process of adding profit centers, and I know that if they do as well as I hope they do, I'm probably going to have to bring someone in to help me with my work with my customers. That's okay. I think we'll be making plenty of money, enough to cover that, and have more resources for all of us. So know where you're going and think about what you're going to do when you run out of time. And the answers are: 1, go to virtual assistants; 2, hire employees; 3, hire contractors; 4, bring in other companies and funnel all certain responsibilities to them to handle for you, and they pay you back, which basically is saying we learn how to wholesale a little bit. We learn how to distribute somewhat. So there's ways to do it. And knowing if you want to grow the business, start now thinking about what it's going to take to get there, and we can start laying the groundwork to help you with it. Startup cost oftentimes will keep someone from getting started, and that's okay. Maybe you're not ready to go into debt. Maybe that you don't have the time or the resources or the collateral to put up to get a loan. Maybe there's just one reason after all the way up to 400 reasons that you can't get the money you need to get started. And I will honor and appreciate that. But as your business coach, I need to say to you, don't give up. Talk to a counselor, talk to a coach, talk to someone that has been there and done that before you give up. Because there may be resources out here that's available to you, or there may be opportunities for you if you're willing to put your shoulder to the wheel to make it happen. The world is full of those possibilities, and if you're willing to step up, folks will be willing to help you search for them. I will, and I'll make that commitment to you. Don't give up. Startup costs are going to be low or high, but they're going to be important, and it's important to know that sometimes, depending on what it is you're buying or you need to get started, may be easy to finance or maybe not, but come up with the list. And whatever you put on that list, I'm going to tell you right now, after you and I talk, or an experienced counselor, it's going to grow. It's going to be more than you think it will be. But there may be some silver lining in those clouds to help figure out how to make it happen for you. But first, you want to move forward, that's fine. So let's say you're already in business, but now you're ready to add a profit center. And adding that profit center will have startup costs. That's what I deal with all the time. When I add a new product, then there's additional costs that are involved, so I have to move forward. And the nice thing about it is once your business is established and you've got cash flow coming in, you can direct some of that cash flow to product development or market development to help you move forward. And there's not even a bump in the road. It's just something you plan to do and you do it. So our folks that have won the awards for being the best in class for the last 2 years, all of them have figured out how to grow their business without going into debt. And that is so important, and we want to help anyone do that wants to do it. But list your startup expenses, because when you do your business plan, that's going to need to be right in there to move forward with it. But if you don't go to the bank and borrow money, I want you to know that you're going to have to prove some things. One is that you got some roots in the community, that you paid your taxes. So if you haven't been paying your taxes, you need to and have those tax returns. You don't need a decent credit score. And if that needs to be improved, you should start working on it right now. If you don't borrow money based on your business, you don't have to prove that you know something about the business. And now here's the good news. One of the best ways, one of the very best documents you can carry into a loan officer is what you do in these classes. You show the work that you've done, the preparations that you've made, your marketing plan, your business plan, the ways you plan to put products in front of your people, and the contingencies that you have. The things you learn in this series of classes should make a major difference to a loan officer when you list them down for them. You know what I mean when I say the big kahuna? Well, for a lot of years in the business world, they would refer to the big kahunas as the business people that were the very best in their business. They owned the market share. They were doing everything right, had great marketing plans, and receiving the sales awards. I want you to be the big kahuna in your business, the person who is doing what you do best. So maybe we're not there yet, but go ahead and start searching for these folks. The people in your area, Pamela and Sarita, that are doing what you want to become the best at, and monitor how they're marketing, what they're charging folks, maybe their strong suits and their weak suits. And we'll take that information, feed it into your business and work it in, massage it around, let it marinate, and indeed, before you know it, you'll be challenging that big kahuna, and that's what you want to do. As a matter of fact, that's what the big kahuna wants you to do. And here's a little fact that maybe you'd be surprised about. If you have someone that you've been watching that's really good, it's not a bad idea at all to go to them and meet with them individually, have a cup of coffee or meet with them in their office and just say, I have been watching you and just admire your work so much and what a great business person that you are. And any tips that you could give to help me along, I'd appreciate it. I don't plan to be your competition, but anything you can do to do that. Now, if what you're doing is going to be in direct contact with someone in your hometown, maybe you want to go to the big kahuna in the next town over and talk to them. At any rate, folks that have been successful are happy to talk to new folks. I certainly have been through the years and never regret giving good information to good people. I don't want you to give away any secrets. I'm not going to give away any of my secrets, but I will give you a helping hand because here's the fact. Good business promotes business. The relationships you make with one of your competitors where they respect you and know you do business the right way will lead to one day they will send customers to you because you're doing something maybe they don't do. You saw what they were doing and you know that you needed some more profit centers so you could have a more diversified product range than what they have. And the end result, it works out good for both sides. My tractor business sold Kubota tractors in Dunn here during about a 30-year period, and we were located right beside the John Deere dealership. Now, the John Deere dealership really focused on the huge machines and huge combines and $200,000 pieces of equipment, where the Kubota product line, what I focused on was smaller tractors up to 70 horsepower, and that's basically all that I stocked. And through the years, they stocked less of the stuff that was in competition with me, and I did the same for them. And we were able to bring customers right to one block in Dunn, North Carolina, and a customer could shop both places, and we ended up both getting mutual businesses from the same people and recommending folks to do it. So don't hate your competitors, don't fear them, work with and learn what you can to become a better competitor and a member of the selling market, and one day you may become the big kahuna. I've had the privilege of being the big kahuna for several products over several years of periods, and it's a good feeling. But here it is waning. You will not stay there. You can't be the big kahuna forever because people like you and me are going to try to take it away from them. They know that. And they will be ready, and they will be moving on and on and on to keep their business going. That's part of what we do. So we have to be smarter than they are in the long run, outmarket them, outwork them, dodge more bullets, But I can tell you right now, if you hang in there for the long period, you can do it as well. The key is surrounding yourself with the right people. Not only the right customers, of course, but good advisors and good mentors and good vendors that you have a good working relationship and an honest discussion can go on between everybody to move forward, and the willingness to step up and step out and make things happen. That's what it is. That's what you oftentimes find the most hard time finding to do. Now, Pamela and Sarita and Charlene, so proud of y'all. All of you are indicating that you feel good about moving your business forward and getting out and meeting new people. That is so important to have that internal and intestinal fortitude, willing to get out and shake the trees and shake the bushes. We need to know our competition. Watch them online, see what they're doing, pick up good ideas that they're doing. There's no reason that we have to think we need to reinvent the wheel. And there's enough good marketing material on the internet from the worldwide markets that you can find lots of good ideas that you can put into play right in your business. But what is our most dangerous threat? What do we have to fear and worry about more than anything else? It is the distractions we have in our private lives. And I'm not saying that distractions are wrong, but I am saying they are real. And we have to recognize, we have to be honest with ourselves and say, if I want to find more time to make my business go forward, I don't have to change my priorities. And that means putting aside some things that you're doing now to give room for you to get your business up and running. And I know that's difficult because some of you already work in 2 jobs or maybe 3, and maybe you've got lots of children that you're responsible for. Maybe you're a caretaker for your mom or dad or another relative, and that's a 36-hour job. But I want to encourage you to know that we're there. I don't get real happy about saying things like the Lord won't give you any more than you can handle, because sometimes it just seems like that's hard to swallow. But I will say to you that if you can find a way to change those priorities around and keep your batteries charged up, to make room to do little things to help you get your business started, and you stay with it, stay committed to it, and someday you can build that business. So I'm going to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing that's good, and maybe change the priorities that you can to help you move your business forward. I have to do it, and I'm sure that you will too. Our business can't be all things to all people. And that is a limiting factor that is really important when we're thinking about marketing. In that we will waste a lot of money if we try to be all things to all people everywhere. So that type of advertising really goes out the roof expense-wise. But if we're smart, the key is we can't be all things to all people, but we must be everything to some people. And it's up to you and I to determine who those some people are that's going to be our prime targets. And after we know that and write it down in different customer target groups, then we can devise our best and most inexpensive but most effective way of reaching them with our marketing news. It might be email, it might be Facebook, it might be some other social media, it might be some Google My Account issues, it probably will include YouTube videos. Those are very, very effective and more effective than mass media advertising that costs a ton of money. We don't need mass media usually in a small business just getting started. We need targeted marketing and advertising to get started on a good foundation and have some money left at the end of the day. That dollar that you spend for advertising and marketing, buying ads, that dollar came out of your profit pool. And if at this point in time you don't have any profit, That means that dollar that you're spending comes from borrowed money or savings or somewhere else that was meant to stay. I don't want us to go there. And the tools that we'll offer in week 3 about marketing will help you find how to get the biggest bang. I mean a dynamite bang for a very small amount of money. But it's going to take some time, and you're going to have to give it the time to make it get there. But here's what we're going to remember. Our business can't be all things to all people. However, it must be everything to some people, and those some people will become your Raven fan customers. I promise. Okay? DBAs, doing business as. It's a subject that sometimes our people coming in class will watch it and listen to it, but I don't see much happening. But as you get into your second phase of business starting to roll on, and you look for the ways that you can bring in more customers without having to bring in more profit centers, the answer to that question, how do you do that, is DBAs, doing business as. Because I'm happy to tell you that as you learn to do that, you can take one product and through DBAs name it different names that different people would search for it on the internet. And then when they start searching their individual ways, they'll find where you've named your product exactly what they were looking for. And someone across the country may be looking for exactly the same thing, but in California, they call it something different. But you were smart enough to also have a web page where that product was named what people in California call it. Hence, you'll get 2 customer groups buying the same product from you. It's totally honest and totally legal and totally fantastic, but you have to take the initiative to do it. In week 4, we'll dive deep into that about using DBAs. The next way DBAs can help you save money and get a lot more customers coming in is when you take your business name and have different aliases for it, doing business as. For example, my business name is Fast Forward Services Incorporated. And under that umbrella, I have DBAs about the Academy, CarverEquipment.com, my .com company, just Carver Equipment, because some people don't want to do business with the .com, and different several other different business entities. All of those are legal names because I have them registered with the county and the state. It didn't cost me something like $15 per name to get registration. But having those different names lets me have one set of books, but I have these different profit centers and different names to bring in different customers. It is amazing the power that will give you. So I'll use, for an example, Darcy, the florist. She might want to have DBAs as Raleigh Florist or Raleigh Floral Planner for Weddings or special events floral planning, Wake County. And to market those at your website with different web pages, so when people are searching at Google and they type in that search term, they will go to your web page that is named the appropriate name for what they're looking for. Hence, Dorothy's the Florist is still the same company. It didn't grow a bit. There's nothing different about it. But through good marketing and using DBA and SEO, which we'll talk about later, and using the different DBAs, you've been able to bring new customers into your place. A lot of people have said for hundreds of years that you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. I want to assure you that you can bring your customers to your water, and you might not make them swallow it, but you can sure stick their head under the water using DBAs. It is so powerful, and when you're ready to move forward and make it work for you, then go for it. And if I can help you in any way with suggestions, we'll talk about it. But in week 4, we go deep diving into that. All right, are you don't need a business plan? Oh, yeah. No doubt about it. And I'm going to tell you right now that that business plan will be changed and changed and changed every year. It's a living, breathing thing, and it's going to be a really good business tool for you. And next week, we'll get started on one for you, and it'll be easy to do. And before the lesson's over next Wednesday, you can have your own business plan started. Because I'm going to tell you now, a business plan never ends. So look forward to that. Look forward to working with you. To get ready for that and to move forward, I'm going to email to you a business planner startup so you can see some of the things that we'll be talking about. Just a rule of thumb, discounting is really important. And some people are led to you by the discounts that you offer. And I don't tell you right now, I don't want you ever to give a discount. But the rest of the story is that you didn't plan to give. I don't ever want you to give a discount that you didn't plan to deal. That you, when you were building your pricing structure, that you built in enough room that you can make the profits you got to have and still let the customer have a discount. Really important. The good news is that there's 3 different customer buying groups out here. There are those customers who are cheap, 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 and will never feel good about letting you make 1 penny. They don't care whether or not you make a living. They don't care whether you stay in business or not. That's the customer that says to you, I run my life trying to save that almighty dollar. Because each penny is so important to them, everything else is blocked out. So that customer is after the cheapest price possible. Do we want to do business with them? We do. We do. And we're going to know that they're out there, and we're going to be ready and have them something to buy. There's another group of customers who really would appreciate a little bargaining. They'd appreciate the fact that you've got to discount it a little bit for them, but they want you to be here. They want to keep doing business with you, but they still are on a tight budget and they're going to shop. So if you're able to offer them some discount and feel like they don't have to keep shopping because they found you a good product and a good place to stay in business, they'll do business with you. They're a great group. That's probably the majority of people that will do business with an entrepreneur. The cheaps usually are going to end up at Walmart or at a thrift shop somewhere. Now, the great news is there is a large number of customers who shop on the internet especially, who are not after the cheapest product. They're after the product they feel good about. They feel like they're getting a great product. It's at a reasonable price that they can afford, and they got money in their pocket so they can afford a lot. And that customer will not ask you to discount 1 penny, but will be happy to work with you at the price that you put on the sticker. Those folks will let you make some money. We want to do business with all 3 groups. And through the way that we address our pricing, you will be able to do that. Be able to do negotiating and to set your prices in such a way that indicates that if someone can save money if they do this or that, then that adds to bigger sales. But now I'm going to say it for the first time in this series. I am 100% against take it or leave it marketing. If the presentation you give to your customer is saying, this is the price, take it or leave it, then I don't tell you right now, 80 to 85% of the folks are going to leave it. They're going to keep shopping because that is the nature of folks. They don't go on to their next website. They're going to go on to the next store and try to find a better deal, see what else is out there in the market. But if your presentation is such, this is the price, let's figure out a way we can do business. We can negotiate, you can pay for it in different ways, you can do layaways, you can make a deposit, you can take advantage of this great product, and I will try to help you find out a way to do it. There's your winner. There's the way you're going to make more money, have more customers, and create relationships with customers so they'll keep doing business with you time after time. Take it or leave it means I'll see you now or I'll never see you again, and I don't care. take it or leave it means you're not interested in creating a relationship with that customer. You simply want them to come in, give you your price, and if they're not willing to do it, get out of here, Jack. Well, here's something I want to share with you. Experience will teach you, especially as entrepreneurs. The customers maybe that you have a chance to quote, to work with, to try to sell something to, but you can't quite close the deal. That investment of time and conversation, if done in the right way, can still create a relationship with that customer so that when they leave, they walk out the door saying, well, I really enjoyed talking with Charlene, and if she'd have what I needed today or we could agree on price, I'd do some business with her. And I will recommend other people come to see you. So you don't have to make the sale to create the relationship. The relationship is what will last a long time and eventually bring you back lots and lots of business from that customer or people that they recommend to come to you. So take it or leave it is a lose-lose proposition. And in the next 6 weeks, we'll talk about all the different ways that you can make everything negotiable be a way that you can keep doing business and feel better about it. Like Pam might say that I've got a product that I will sell to you. I'll sell to you for $1 a jar, something she's made for $1 a jar. But I'll sell a dozen to you for $10. We look at ways that is bundling. That's good after big ticket items, different ways, and we need to think about that. Because if you've got a product like Pam's going to have, it might be used as gifts. It might be used as gifts. And if you find a big customer that you can say, look, I'll make 100 of these or 200 of them if you want to use them for gifts for your customers. And I'll even go to Sarita and get your label put on my jars so that it becomes your product and it can be a label that serves as a gift. That's a really big way for people that are serving a private label items. It's not that they buy them for themselves, but they buy a lot of them and use them for gifts to their customers or other special events that they're having. Just a little tip that I've seen it work a lot through the years. So give that some thought. But let's don't do take it or leave it if we can absolutely help it. So don't forget there's a survey coming your way tomorrow probably. Please fill it out and send it in. That'll mean a lot, and we'd certainly appreciate kind words. But get them on back to Joy. And as we move through the series and as the Academy moves on, please let me ask you to encourage other folks to join us during this series. Spring months are coming on. It might be hard to get people to come in at this time of the evening when the weather's warm, but we'll have some good stuff for them, as you all know. Y'all are certainly invited to come every time, and we'll have a good message for you. Our message is always, let's put principles in front of profits. Let's try to be the best people we can do. Let the community know that we're going to be here a long time and we're going to keep doing the high standard so that they will feel comfortable about recommending other people do business with us. Always be looking for the way that you can be a giver instead of a taker, offering your services or your help or when someone needs some help, a way that you can move the ball forward in the best way. Be seen in the right places, make the friends, attend leadership opportunities at church or in civic organizations. In other words, stand tall, be there, let folks know that you're interested in doing things right. A preacher down in a Foundation Church in Elizabethtown 2 years ago did a sermon on endurance. And it really meant a lot to me as a Christian, but it also meant a lot to me as a business person. He said to have endurance, you need to pace yourself. And I agree. Don't push yourself to places you don't want to go and go at your own pace so you don't burn yourself out. Remember that none of us are know-it-alls. We might like to pretend that from time to time, but humble yourself. Listen to other people. Make room for new ideas. Make room for brighter and better days. Find your inspiration wherever you find it. In prayer, in Jesus, in music, in reading, or in a special friend, or a special place, or a pet. But look for ways that you can inspire yourself. Other people have a hard time inspiring you. You have to reach out to find that inspiration yourself. So wherever you can do that, do it. At the end of each one of these webinars, I'll try to give a little bit because it kind of helps charge my battery up as well. Let's drop a few pounds. Now, we started out talking about being fat tonight. And what does that FAT stand for? What does FAT stand for? Let's just see if we can remember that, okay? So next week we'll be asking you. But I'm talking about dropping a few pounds of procrastination. I'm talking about dropping a few pounds of stubbornness. I'm talking about dropping a few pounds of unwilling to set the priorities that we need to set. It may be drop a few pounds of people and associates that are not doing us any good from the standpoint they're hurting us. Negative attitudes, corruptness, bad thinking, unappreciative of what the world is trying to give to you or what you're trying to do. There's a time sometime that you need to set those people free and look for folks that are bringing inspiration to you and you know in your heart are helping making you a better person. That's the kind of pounds that we need to drop. But mainly, let's finish to get the endurance, we need to know where the finish line is. And each one of us will have a different finish line. It might be, I just want to finish this series. It might be that I want to make it till July the 1st. It might be I need to set up a plan that next year, this time, my company is generating X amount of revenue. It's not up to me to tell you where your finish line is. It's up to you. But I will tell you that if you know that finish line and you write it down and start making a commitment to get there, your chances of getting there will be a whole lot better. And if you let other people who care about you know what that is, you'll have a lot of help of people that will want you to get there as well. So next Wednesday, you need to fix this slide. We're going to look at Budgeting 101. I started this during the last session and it was really popular about budgeting to end up with a business plan that will work. So whether you want to call it Budgeting 101 or Business Planning 101, it all adds up to the same thing of how to put together models of expenses and models of income, put them together to end up with a business plan that we can change easily and look at and determine where the good parts of it and the bad parts are and to move forward with it. So as we're closing, thank you all for staying with us. It's been a good to have you in warm weather instead of cold weather like the last few months. You are letting your light shine, and I'm so proud of you and looking forward to helping you. Let's have more activity on social media at our Facebook Entrepreneurs and Associates pages. Thank you for sharing what you have. Any stories that you can send in or testimonials will go a long way and encourage your friends and family to join us in the future. So good night, everybody, and God bless you. I'd like to hear from you if you have any comments, and I hope that you have a great week and a great weekend. Finally, I think we're going to get a weekend without rain, so that'll be good. Take care. And good night to you, Pamela. Thank you for the note. All of you coming in. Well, y'all take care, and we'll see you next week. Please spread the word that we'll be back online.
All right. Good night, Steve.
Good night, Sarita. Thank you so much.